Hi, this is Deetra Kelsey, host of Sister Talk televised live Saturdays at 2 p.m. on MNN1. On Sister Talk, we feature beautiful, intelligent sisters and brothers too, from the world of entertainment, politics, music, health and wellness, and so much more. Watch Sister Talk televised live Saturdays at 2 p.m. on MNN1. Sister Talk, we're more than just talk. Hi, welcome back. And we're continuing our special edition on domestic violence. Sitting here with me is Larry Edwards from Father Initiative, and also Andre Flores, one of his clients. We're going to start with you, Larry. What exactly is the Father Initiative?
The Fathering Initiative is a program that addresses parenting issues, domestic violence issues, anger management issues, and even financial issues with fathers who are typically sent to us through the city's agency for children administration. It's a voluntary program, it's a free program, and it works to help fathers get the parenting skills and understand their importance with being involved in their children's lives.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So what is your role?
I'm the director of the Fathering Initiative.
But you have really personal contact.
Yes, yes. I work with the clients one-on-one, especially if they're unable to attend our classes. We offer classes in the mornings as well as in the evenings, but sometimes the scheduling for the clients that are coming in doesn't work with either one of those, so I assist my staff with working with them one-on-one.
So you work basically with men. How do you get men to seek counseling? Because it's hard, I'm gonna be very honest, you can't even get them to see a doctor. Yeah.
That's very true, that's very true. In most cases, the Children's Administration leverage that for us. So sometimes in this case, before they can have access to their children as a result of a domestic violence incident, they have to complete the components of our program in order to make that happen. So while the men come unwillingly, I think once they've had the intake process and you build that rapport, they learn that counseling is not that bad, evil thing that it's been out there, put out there to believe. But and so once we get them to understand that it's really helping each other work through problems that are common among all of us, they see it as a normal process. So once we normalize, sitting down and talking through some of the issues that every couple, every whatever go through, they become more comfortable with it. And when they open up, it's a rewarding experience because now they can breathe. I've met over 250 men who were resistant, but after they learn what they've learned and they're comfortable, they come back. And they actually help us reach out to other fathers.
Andre Flores.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I know that you're a part of the Father Initiative because of your anger issues.
That's correct.
Yeah. What led you to the Father Initiative?
Originally, I was sent to the Fathering Initiative because of a court mandate. Like Mr. Edwards had explained, most of the time they receive clients through the courts, family court, criminal court, whatever was mandated. So that is what led me to the program.
Okay. Okay. Again, you all can call the show 212-757-1393, 212-757-1393 if you have any questions about the Father Initiative. So you said the courts mandated. Would you like to tell us that experience? What made the courts referred you to the Father Initiative?
It was just basically, like Mr. Edwards had explained, in order to get to the process of seeing your children, you first have to complete a certain amount of programs.
So you're taken away from your children? You could not see your children at all?
Yes, I could not see my children.
Why was that?
Because of a domestic violence issue that I had with my ex at the time. So in order to protect them, there was an order of protection set up with them and the children, and in order to gain, at least to get to the point of visitations, one would have to complete the program first.
Okay, so how long is the program?
It depends. In Andre's case, it took, when I became the director, he had already been through the program.
And you counsel him one-on-one, right? Okay.
Because what I picked up with Andre, he wanted to come back. He came through the door saying, I need help. He had been through the program. So what I did with Andre was one-on-one. And through that one-on-one process, there was a lot of hurt and pain that he was exhibiting from his childhood. He grew up, and you can jump in and tell your story. He grew up in a domestic violence home where he saw his dad and his mom, experience that. Andre hated that he was reliving a cycle he had grown up with. He had issues that he did not want any similarities of his father. So in working with him, we had to trace some history of what was it that led you to become what you didn't want to be. And he, if you want to share, he could pick up the rest of that, but it was just really his working through his issues of growing up in an environment, being socialized as a male in this country where it was okay to be that strong macho person and how you exhibit that. So that was the beginning, and having him work through that with me one-on-one before he went back into the classroom.
Andre, I find that when I talk to people, and I have been a DV victim myself, that the male, the guy that you're seeing, they sort of always blame their anger on the spouse, on the other person. Were you a part? Did you do that?
Yes, I did, and it's also plays into the fact that as I was growing up, my father would do the same thing. Blame my mother for the abuse that, for some reason, he would cause to her.
So did you think this was normal at that time?
Growing up with it, one would think it's normal. Living 18 years in a household, seeing that repetitive anger and domestic violence towards your own parent, you grow up thinking it's normal. You grew up that this is the way of life. This is how it's supposed to happen.
So what made you change your mind, said this is not right? Because I see some, God forgive me, I see some old heads out there that thinking that, it's all my girlfriends or my wife's problems because, they wouldn't let me be me, but the issue was that they had some anger issues. People have gone through the courts and they still repeat that same pattern.
That is true. That is true. And I had gone through the course and was exhibiting certain behaviors, and I was very, very much motivated to not be just like my father, not live that life, not live in his footsteps. So I did seek help. I contacted Mr. Edwards, and we did have one-on-one. We had several one-on-one sessions. I came back, I took some extra classes, I worked through many issues that I didn't even know I had.
Oh, really?
And it's something that a lot of men don't do, is talk. A lot of men don't talk to people.
Not even to each other?
Not about issues like that.
Sports.
Sports. That's what I was about to say, the locker room.
The superficial stuff.
Right.
Since Andre, I've worked with other fathers who they will eventually admit that it's insecurity. It's insecurity. It's not ever having someone say it's okay to feel vulnerable. It's, in some cases, a lot of the men that I work with happen to be of the lower socioeconomic status. It's the only sense of power they have, so they exercise it where they can. They're underemployed or unemployed. There's just a lot of deep-seated issues that's impacting, especially in communities of color, that they tend to lash out. It's this boiling pot that, when it boils over, the person that's there and closest to them tend to get the brunt of that.
Did you ever hurt your kids?
When I was younger, well, my first children, my first
you did.
pair
You
of
took.
children.
You
Yes.
really.
And that was the way I was raised. In fact, I have come to an understanding that I don't want to give my kids the life that I had. I want to give them something better.
Right. Okay.
Which is why I take into consideration the lessons that I've learned in the parenting classes. I didn't just take domestic violence, I also took parenting and anger management
really? Wow.
at Forestdale.
Okay.
And you learn a lot about these classes. You learn that, from even my own experience, you realize that as a child, I may have been asleep but I was hearing everything. I was
Really?
understanding what was going on between my parents, even though they thought I was asleep. And it's the same thing with my children. You know, even though you don't see them, they're listening. They're paying attention. They're learning every single thing you do. So I try and now put my best foot forward.
You're in your second marriage.
That's
right
correct.
now. How is your relationship with your first wife and your kids from the first marriage?
Currently, while being married, it's gotten better.
With your first wife, your
with my-
relationship, because you all have kids together, so you all have to be in contact.
That's correct. And part of the reason why it got better was because of the classes that I took and being able to understand that I have to own up to my problems. We weren't talking for a very long time, and I was the one who made the step forward. I was the one who apologized and made that move in order to repair that relationship.
Okay. Were you, first of all, were you ever locked up or anything because of that?
Yes, I was. I mean, locked up to say I only served 1 or 2 nights in central booking. I mean, I never went to an extent where I was incarcerated for an extended amount of time. But even being locked up in central booking, you think to yourself, why is it that I put myself through this? And
It's something you couldn't help, but you have to get counseling.
Right.
I commend you, both of you all, for coming out here to tell your story, and I commend you also. I think it's very good, Larry Edwards, that you are out here really talking to the men and saying it's okay to feel, it's okay to talk, and not necessarily sports.
Exactly.
And so forth.
Exactly.
How can someone get in contact with you?
They can call me at Forestdale Fathering. The number is 718-263-0740. My direct extension is 301. And I
Okay.
do put my cell out there because, like Andre, even though he's no longer part of the program, he knows how to reach me, and that is 646-824-5737. And I really just want to encourage people to take that first step, to make the call. It's a non-judgmental program. It's free, and you know, the guys that I continue to work with, we still come together on Wednesday nights and work through issues. You know, you don't come through a 12-week program and heal. It's an ongoing process, and we hold each other accountable.
What's the biggest issues that some of the guys have?
In terms of domestic violence?
Yeah, the issues that they can't really talk about. When you say the issues.
You know, it's again, what I'm finding in doing this work is a lot of these guys that I've worked with have been abused themselves in several different ways that they're ashamed to come out about.
You talking about by their fathers
By
or
their family, friends,
physically and mentally and all that?
sexually, the whole nine.
The whole nine.
The whole nine. I've had fathers who have called me, and again, non-judgmental. I've left the room because I can see them getting to that point, but they can't say it. And because I've been doing this work, I can pick up on it. So I let them know. I'm like, you know what? The healing process starts with you saying it. They want me to say it for them. And I've worked with at least 10 fathers who have come to that point.
Okay.
And it's critical. We have a lot of broken, wounded guys out there, but that's no excuse not to hurt somebody else because you've been hurt.
Sister talk, something on your mind anytime. I'm here to listen, sister talk. When you need someone who understands, I know what you're missing, sister talk. No matter what you're going through, don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. Sister talk. If you ever feel alone, say the word, I'll be right there. Sister talk, sister talk, sister talk, sister talk, sister. Ooh, sister talk.